Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast, perhaps one of the most atmospheric of Big Finish's release in the last few years. There was a time when Big Finish existed primarily for us older fans. Let's face it, Doctor Who wasn't coming back, the new adventures had happened from Virgin, and we had a taste for something a little bit more dark. We were all grown-ups listening to these stories. We got things like Chimes of Midnight and other more obscure experiments in narrative. We also had some stories dealing with religion. All of these things have kind of faded away because of audience reaction. Where this audience reaction is, I have no idea, as long as it's not just Gallifrey base, because let's face it, that's going to have an obscure thing. I'm so off target here. The Crooked Man, Story 3 of Series 3 of the Doctor and Leela Adventures, deals with something that we haven't had so far, which is an absence of Time Lord intervention, or at least Time Lord intervention as far as the Doctor's aware. And it's one of those stories that Nick Briggs is on record as saying he's had a few issues with. Not because it's badly written or badly acted or anything like that, but because it's, well, a bit scary. Now, the idea of creatures arriving from a fictional reality is something that John Dorney has definitely dealt with in the past, mainly through the incredibly good Fourth Wall, something that I so think you should go and listen to. Fourth Wall is just a brilliant story, and this is the absolute opposite of that. I'm not saying it's not brilliant, because it is, but in the Fourth Wall we have a fictional comic version of reality breaking through, admittedly just as deadly as the Crooked Man, but here we have something a lot more 70s, a lot more Hinchcliffe, a lot more English. This feels like Doctor Who of the time. Yes, there is even a line where Leela is described as wandering around a wintry seaside town as if she doesn't know it's winter. But as I'm from Newcastle, I can say that I have seen many a woman wander the streets of winter dressed as if it's the height of summer. We try not to think about these things or even mention them in polite company. Again, as always, it's a one-disc story, costing $10.99 to buy on CD or $8.99 as a download. So what are you getting for your money? Well, you're getting a two-part story, but you're getting a two-part story that's about as good as you can get from Doctor Who. If you want an introduction, a nice standalone story that has no links to anything else, just get this. Because it is almost as frightening as things like Chimes of Midnight. It has the same sort of unsettling atmosphere as the Prisoner Zero moments of the 11th Hour and doors appearing. If, like me, you're a fan of old bookshops and novels and things written down, well, that's for you. It also has a similarity to a novel I read and adored as a child called The Land of Laughs by Jonathan Carroll, and I don't really want to say any more than that. The Crooked Man is a scary enough story, but it's only scary because of the atmosphere, because of the setting, and because, let's face it, we English love our old, falling apart seaside towns. They are atmospheric to say the least, scary as well. The wind, the streets, the closed arcades, like a place with the soul switched off. Yes, there are throwaway remarks, lines about Professor X. A single policeman who knows far too much about role-playing games and fine choose-your-own-adventure stories is more than a nod to us. Even lines about aliens with papier-mâché heads that you can always just throw matches at. Things like that are the light against the dark of the whole story. Comedy and horror brought together in the way that Doctor Who does best. So of all of the stories of late, this is the one that so could have been on TV the most. Yes, the Doctor has knowledge of current society, i.e. early 21st century, but don't let that hold you back. Tom is still the Fourth Doctor, and as far as I'm concerned, always will be. So until next time, when I'll be talking about Doctor Who, be seeing you.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions, The Fourth Doctor Adventures, Doctor Who, The Crooked Man.
Once upon a time.
What? Please! Don't worry. This won't hurt a bit.
Hello? Anyone in?
These buildings look abandoned.
Everywhere shut. And I could have treated you to some candy floss or enjoyed some rock.
How could we enjoy a rock?
Excuse me?
Who goes there?
A policeman.
PC Andrews. Ellis Andrews.
We saw the paper of news.
Were the other deaths of equal ferocity?
Doctor, stop! I thought I saw someone in the shadows. They were watching us. They looked strange.
For such vain creatures, they are suspicious. I enjoy eviscerating them.
Night-night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bedbugs... What the...
Subscribers get more at bigfinish.com.
You've been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast. Doctor Who is the property of the BBC and no infringement is intended. To contact the show or to find out more about Whostrology and my other works, click on the links on the Tin Dog Podcast homepage. Why not follow Blue Box Messiah, all one word, on Twitter to keep up to date with tour dates of my forthcoming Doctor Who comedy play. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.